Assalamu alaikum. Today's story is about Chief Inspector Richard Varley, a member of Scotland Yard's Counter-terrorism command, who became a Muslim in the course of discharging his professional duties as a police officer with the United Kingdom Police Department. Who is Richard Varley? Richard Varley was born in a Christian home, like most British families. He holds a bachelor's degree in geology from the University of Exeter, UK. After his university education, Richard took up a job with the London Metropolitan Police Department. Richard wasn't just a science student. He was a fan of science, particularly the theoretical physics aspect of science. According to him, even though this wasn't the likely choice after graduating from the university, it was the easy choice for him due to his financial reasons. As a young police officer then, Richard and his colleagues were always at the forefront of civil unrest, protests, and other low-end police duties. Richard later rose to the post of Chief Police Inspector and became an integral part of the Counter-terrorism unit of the Metropolitan Police, Scotland Yard, London. How Richard became interested in the Qur'an. The Satanic Verses, written by Indian-born British author Salman Rushdie, was published in 1988 to widespread protest across the United Kingdom. The novel, which had blasphemous and satirical inferences to the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the Qur'an, was the subject of criticism from Muslims and was banned by several countries, including Salman's birth country, India. The reaction that trailed the publication was partly to renounce Salman's betrayal, as he was born a Muslim, and also the misuse and misinterpretation of facts about the Prophet. Quelling the protest that was going on was the job of the police to which Richard belonged. Instead of assuming the strong protest is an exaggerated reaction like most non-Muslims, he decided to educate himself to understand the reason behind such a stern reaction. In 1989, Richard purchased a copy of the Qur'an, the famous English translation by Yusuf Ali. He started reading, and he didn't go far before realizing he could be holding the absolute truth about many aspects of life and creation. The 3 verses that changed his life. On reading the Qur'an, gradually, Richard found that it contains the truth about many things, but 3 verses really made a difference to him. A fan of science and an amateur physicist, he related more with verses that talked about the creation of the earth and how it was similar to the cosmic theory of scientists. In science, an independent arrival at a hypothesis is a pointer to that the idea may be accurate. Considering that some hypotheses cannot be fully proven, it was intriguing for science-loving Richard to come across verses that all but confirmed the Big Bang theory from a spiritual view. The verses are Surat ad-Darayat, Quran chapter 51, verse 47. With power and skill did we construct the firmament, for it is we who create the vastness of space. Surah Al-Anbiya, Quran chapter 21, verse 30. Do not the unbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit of creation before we clove them asunder? And Surah An-Naba, Quran chapter 78, verse 6 to 7, which says, Have we not made the earth as a wide expanse and the mountains as pegs? Although he wasn't a professor of cosmology, the fact that a book written over 1,400 years back can depict pretty much everything about modern cosmic theory affirms that it wasn't written by any man, but a divine revelation. Conversion to Islam. After coming across these powerful verses, Richard kept reading the Qur'an, getting more acquainted with the many undisputed facts revealed in it. The Qur'an became his favorite book, and he became so familiar that he could relate some of the revelation in the Qur'an to modern science other than the cosmic theory aspect. In an interview, he narrated that some of the revelations that seem confusing now will become clearer as science improves and the world advances, but that's by the way. Richard read and became familiar with the Qur'an for 4 years until he decided to take the Shahada in 1993 alongside British rock star Cat Stevens, who became known as Yusuf Islam. The reversion happened at London Central Mosque, Regent Park, London, At a time, many decided to focus on the negative press Islam was and is still getting. Some of the brothers at the London Central Mosque suggested he take up a Muslim name or change his name, but Richard prefers it remains the same. Some still went ahead and called them Rashid as a nickname because it sounds similar to Richard. On taking the Shahada, Richard became one of the few Muslim police officers within the London Metropolitan Police. Richard embarked on his first Ummah in 2010, 17 years after becoming a Muslim. Since then, he has visited the Kaaba several times with the Association of Muslim Police, AMP. Strides after becoming a Muslim. The London police only had a few Muslims in its ranks and even fewer Muslim women because their working conditions and environment weren't optimal for Muslims. There was a need for someone high up to start effecting changes and make the police attractive to Muslims. Richard took up the challenge to ensure the Metro Police and other police departments had more Muslims. There were over 1 million Muslims in the UK at the time, and only a couple of hundred of Muslim police didn't represent the Muslim community well enough. In 2000, Richard Varley founded, with Association of Muslim Police AMP, with Muhammad Maroof, a fellow Muslim police officer he met at a conference in 1999. Richard became the president while Muhammad acted as a secretary, and they took off with only a few members. A few decades later, the AMP has been able to achieve a lot for Muslims in the UK police. Some of the achievements of Richard Varley's AMP include recruitment of more Muslims into the police, allocation of praying space for Muslims within police departments, recognition of Muslim holidays, modification of dress code to allow Muslim women to adorn the hijab as part of their uniform, etc. Richard Varley's contribution to Islam in the UK is enormous. Alhamdulillah for visionaries like him. May Allah accept him and forgive his shortcomings.